Welcome, everybody, to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gillimer, and we're excited to bring you another episode of the World of Ability, which is our flagship show of the network that was started 4 years ago, or just under 4 years ago. I don't know. No. Oh, there we go. Just under 4 years ago. Launching on July 26th, 2020, which is the 30th anniversary of the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act by then President George H.W. Bush. But we are which this show is co-founded by our own Kurt Roskoff here, as well as one of our partners of Marcus Hart of Transforming Media out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But we are here to kind of talk about all abilities, that you do not need to have a disability to be here, that everybody has their own way to do things. And so, and even, if somebody wants to do something, get to it just in a different way. And I mean, we are working with the Disability Channel, or the TDC out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, which we found them like 4 years ago, a few months before starting the show. And they are all about, their whole thing is buying with people with disabilities, or for people with disabilities as well, or also including veterans in there, which was started roughly a decade ago by Jay Stoyan, and they're all about TV, media, and so on. So this is great collaboration. But I guess what I'm kind of bringing here is a little bit of kind of what I plan to hear, is I do have a disability of autism. And I'm a part of the Autism Society of South Central Wisconsin. And I've been helping plan a adult autism conference for the last 5 years. Sure, having one coming up this fall, but more details to come on that. But yeah, we have a lot of collaborations going on here, but Sue, do you have anything you'd like to bring into the show? Anything you'd like to say? Going off of losing my train of thought here.
Well, thanks so much, Emily. My name is Sue Roskoff, and I am here with the World of Ability. We are celebrating all things ability related, disability. Whether we have a disability that we report or not, we can still be here as disability allies. That is a huge thing. Have you ever considered that? Do you know people that have disabilities? Do you have one yourself? Do you accidentally exclude people from what you do? Do you include people on purpose, or where are you? Where do you stand on all of these things? Do you ever think about it? When it snowed out, do you shovel the sidewalk, including the curb cutouts? There are so many little ways that we can be inclusive if we just try, even just a little. And that is something that we celebrate here. We actually want to bring that to the forefront, to actually have that in mind as we go through life, because there are so many easy things that we can do to be inclusive and to be inviting and to be including things, the world of ability. So we do all those things. But again, as Emily said, whether you have a disability or not, are you here? Are you inclusive? Are you an ally to those that would appreciate that person in their corner? So with that, we are so happy to have some friends of the show joining us here. Actually, Emily, I'm going to pass it back to you to do our first introduction.
Our first introduction. So our first person here, I believe we might have met through well, somebody, well, actually through Alignable, but it was also through somebody we met through the Happy Neighborhood Project. Sherry Wallace, who's in North Carolina, with her Let's Be Trees organization, which is all about the funeral reform industry and changing like the way we do the whole funeral thing. So Sherry, why don't you come in here and say a little more about who you are, what you do, what's Let's Be Trees? You are on mute, Sherry.
Hello, I'm Sherry Wallace, and I'm glad to be here. And I feel like going back to what you guys were talking about, we've all been given talents, and my talent is different than Emily's and Sue's and Kurt's, and it's finding our talent and finding our mission in life, and I believe that we all have a light to and an obligation to find that talent and to live out the highest good. And the highest good that I could conceive of was reforming the entire funeral industry. And I wanted to make it completely free, and I'm not there yet, but I've got a real good idea of how to get close. And I'm revolutionizing or transforming the funeral industry by going back to the way that our grandparents used to handle death care. And it was so simple. They just went around town, they asked everybody for $1 or 10, and they bought a grave or bought some property, and they opened a community building, and they opened a graveyard. There was no more cost. You helped buy it, and you could be buried there. And I want to go back to that.
Excellent. And so where are you at right now? Because I know there is a property that you're looking at. What is the concept of a person joining into what you have going on there?
So we've opened a 501c7 membership cemetery society. And we are crowdfunding currently for 300 acres in Macon, North Carolina, that we can have 300,000 members. And the math works out to, if we have a membership fee of $100, we'll have $30 million to support this society, buy the property. It's an amazing 300-acre, 200-year-old estate. So it's nothing but gorgeous. And we'll actually be able to use the proceeds and put it in a trust fund to pay back dividends to our members. So eventually you would get paid back your $100. So it kind of works out in the back end to be free.
Amazing. I'm surprised nobody has thought of this. It makes so much sense to be able to have that type of a situation set up. And you know, that is something that we don't like to think about dying, do we? I mean, that's something that it's kind of a subject that's hard to talk about, but it's real, and it's something that people need to think about. What is their end plan? Where are they going to go? So this is a very simple thing to hop on board and be able to know what's going to happen, and it's not going to break the bank for the rest of the family in the process.
Exactly. It's time to fix the system. The system is broken. Everybody knows it. Nobody wants to talk about it. And the system is hoping that we don't talk about it. But the fact remains that 75% of the population don't have a funeral plan at all. They don't want to talk about it. They can't afford it. They don't know where to look. They don't know where to get a will. They think it's too expensive. It's the fact of the matter is they're very free, and they're on my website, letsbetrees.com. org, letsbetrees.org, and go to the resources page and get yourself a will, download it for your state, and take care of yourself in that manner anyway. And then find yourself to our membership page and become a member. We're looking for properties between 300 acres and above works the best, and an amazing estate on it. The bigger, the better, as far as I'm concerned, especially if there's enough land to support enough members, So we're going to build a cemetery society that people are going to be not looking forward to being buried, but we're going to have events. We're going to be able to have a hustling, bustling cemetery that people aren't dreading having to go to some sad, lonely cemetery on the hill. So I can imagine, I keep thinking about if we have 300,000 members on 300 acres, how beautiful would those gardens be?
Mhm.
They would be absolutely breathtaking after a few years, And so then we
Wonderful.
could have these like all over the country. And if we're a member of the same society, we can go to these different mansions, these estates, as a destination vacation.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear more. I know we do have more guests that we're going to bring on in here, and we can continue to deep dive as we continue in the world of ability today. So actually, I'm going to pass it back to Emily to do our next introduction. We'll get everybody on in here. Let's actually continue on with some brief introductions and get everyone in and open up this conversation to our entire group, because we have an awesome, amazing group in here today. Emily, back to you.
I think our next person is who's author podcast. I can't talk. Who's a author, app developer, sign language interpreter, which was interpreter day just recently. Maybe think but Marion, why don't you come in and say here to a little more about who you are, what you do? I think you have possibly somebody with you. Well, then there's Leon that's connected with you in your project too that we have on here, but we'll get to him next. But
Aloha and hola, everybody, and thank you so much, Kurt, Sue, and Emily, and Transform You Media, and Jay, and Lawrence Wingate people, and Happy Neighborhood Projects that put this together every Saturday to make this happen for all of us to connect and network. And we have several different guests that are joining me every week, so I'm so glad I can introduce them to you. Every week's a different week, and we'll be introducing Jeannie from Canada. She has a double master's, early education. And Leanne McLaughlin will be joining us from Clean Water Foundation. Leanne and I are partnering on the Acts of Kindness series. And yes, I am the author of the Acts of Kindness series, featuring 200 folk Manus puppets. My books are written for animation movies with sign language characters, and soundtrack by Lucy and the Perfect Wave. And we have created a couple of short videos featuring our new characters for cool acts of kindness for climate change. Our first book was for ocean cleanup called Underwater Acts of Kindness, featuring Noah, the hard of hearing whale, and Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab. And he's recruited by a sea turtle called the General of the New Earth Army to tackle the Great Pacific Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California. And I want to give a shout out to another person that comes on is Don, who's going to join us. Don was in the military, and we want to thank the military for our freedom and keeping us safe. What I talk about too is we have 500 million people worldwide with a hearing loss. Millions of moms and dads coming home from being of service who can't hear their own children or grandchildren. And these are educational books that all USA classroom teachers can request and get copies in their classrooms with the coloring books. And now we've uploaded the YouTube Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab, to learn the ASL finger spelling alphabet. Our second book is Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully. We just rolled over to May, and in Hawaii, the 1st of May is May Day, Lay Day. And we have that starting out our book, Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully, with Harry the Hard of Hearing Rabbit, who gets kicked off the island and falls onto Rabbit Island by a bullfrog named Rippet and a female French bulldog named Felicia. And he meets Chelsea, the courageous sign language chicken, Eve, the finger spelling bumblebee, and an enchanted tree to stand in his power to return back home with his classmates. And it's a beautiful story. We have a first birthday luau, a rainbow party parade, and we have a song called Forgiveness. So that's what they learn to do, is they forgive the bullies. And what we find out is the bullies really don't know sign language, and that's why they felt left out. So we want to be able to teach the world ASL finger spelling alphabet so they can participate and join our deaf and hard of hearing community as well. And we are working on cool acts of kindness. Suzanne Sims, I are excited to start writing, featuring Waterflow the Whale with Leon McLaughlin. We created 2 videos featuring Robo Motivation, who picks up the water filters from Waterflow the Whale, who's in the sea, who can take a breath, and was going to be all right. And Robo Motivation rolls those water filters around the world, around actually a heart, in the shape of the World of Ability background that we have used here in the podcast. And one of the first destinations or so is to Africa, where we have Rich the Ostrich, and we have 2 songs by Lucy that we've created these little videos, Love is the Only Way, and Rich and Radiant I Am. So I'm so grateful. I have clean water. I am in San Carlos, Mexico. And my neighbors are sailors. We got a big regatta coming up. I'm a sailor. We sailed over here from Hawaii, and they don't have water at their house. So I'm opening the doors to friends and saying, hey, I'm grateful I got hot showers and water and a nice swimming pool to exercise. But you'd be surprised what can happen. A natural disaster. Look, I just really wasn't following the news, but Texas and the storms, the flooding, all these things are happening with climate change that is affecting our water quality. And I'll let Leon McLaughlin go into more of that, and with his updates of doing fundraisers. I know he just brought some more filters to the Navajo Hopi Reservation in Arizona, Montana, the Blackfoot. He said more there, and it's just an amazing year of 2024. So is Leon on here to join us?
Yes, I am.
Aloha,
Can you hear me?
Leon.
Aloha. How's it going?
Good. Let's hear about your stories. What's your updates? You're going to be on a magazine next month. How do we get the magazines?
Yeah, I'll let everybody know it's going to be called the Gold Coast Magazine. Next month, we'll be on the cover, and they're doing a story about all of our water projects that we've done in the past and our latest water projects that we're doing. Just like you said, we just sent 50 water filters to the Blackfeet tribe in Montana for 4 schools. And those filters will last them for the next 12 years. We also just sent 42 more water filters to the Hopi and Navajo reservation. And we'll be sending more filters out next week to the Hopi and Navajo. So things are going good with our global giving, the clean water donations that people are donating, the artists that we're working with. We'll also be going into El Salvador, where we have some water units in schools, and now we'll be working with water treatment plants. If anybody want to join us, you can go to www.cleanwaterfoundationwa.org. For $150, that provides 50 people with drinking water. It's nice that we got the manufacturers working with us. That's normally like a $600 unit that they give it for $150, and it can provide 50 people with water. You can also use those units for disaster and relief, just like you said, when the hurricanes and floods, because those units will let you do gravity feeding. So say if it's dirty water in the streets, you can get a bucket of dirty water, gravity feed, and out come clean water, because those units are, you don't need electricity, which on the reservation, a lot of homes don't have it. They just did a big CBS news story on the Hopi where some of the people just got a refrigerator for the first time in their life, because of the solar that they're putting out there. And they never had a refrigerator before. And you know how long refrigerators been out. So imagine you got homes out there with no running water, never had a refrigerator. I know in Peru we had a situation like that where the people, was basically living in caves, and we put solar lights in and water units. So, we're slowly but surely, getting the job done. So that's really great, along with the private equity company that we're working with. They're on their last stretch. And that's where we'll be working with Mariana with Waterflow the Whale and her other characters. She's already talked to Joe Wright about marketing, and he's like one of the top marketing guys, used to be one of the executives for Kellogg's Corporation and Kraft Foods. So we got a great team doing some great things. The World of Ability has been a big help by bringing us all together like this. And like I said, we're moving on. And it was so nice, when the Blackfeet wrote the letter saying thank you for helping the tribe and our reservation out, because they now have enough water filters for those 4 schools for the next 12 years, which is great. And that's the Blackfeet tribe in Browning, Montana. So yeah, things are going great. The Gold Coast magazine coming out in June. I'll send everybody a copy. And, we're getting the word out, which is a wonderful thing. As they say, you can't win the prize unless you advertise. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's amazing what all is happening there and what success. I love to hear good things that the filters are getting there. There's people that live in caves. I mean, what do we take for granted here, really? I think I've got it so easy. I forget how easy I have it until I hear people don't have clean water. What?
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing.
Like you said, people live in caves. When we took the water units to Peru and they first got solar light, can you imagine how dark a cave is? And they never had light before. We put the solar lights in along with the water units, and these people was the happiest people ever. And you would think in 2024 no one would be living like that. But even here in the US, with the Hopi and Navajo, they never even had a refrigerator. First time ever having a refrigerator. They were storing the food in the barn, and first time ever having a refrigerator because of the solar panels that they put out there. Is just amazing. So imagine even one of the teachers out there had to go an hour just to get a charge on a cell phone to find out when she would be going to these different classes to teach. But imagine driving an hour to charge up your cell phone because no power. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, the things we take for granted, really. I'm so glad you do what you do. That makes a world of difference, really. And I want to go ahead and bring Don Crumlin in as well and join this conversation, because I'm curious what I mean. Don is an amazing guy. He has done so much for so many. I would love to have you join this conversation. Don, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about who you are. And I know you've got some thoughts and experience that would pertain to a lot of what's been talked about here. So Don, I'm so glad you're joining us here today. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Glad to be of service. Literally. It's an honor and a privilege to be in this group of people that are so altruistic and so selfless with regard to their time, energy, and talents in helping people in austere conditions. Having been involved in a number of military campaigns, from Desert Shield, Desert Storm, the Kosovo conflict, and as mission support commander during Operation Iraqi Freedom, I've seen a lot of unfortunate things in very austere conditions. And it does my heart good to hear about all of the goodwill that's being done for people that are in disadvantaged situations where even the simplest things, just as you guys were articulating just moments ago, that we take for granted, are now finally being given opportunities for them to experience a higher quality of life. Things that we consider to be basics to them are an extremely high step up in where they were moments before help arrived. So hats off to everyone that's doing all of these good things with regard to all of that. Right now, in my current situation, as I am a certified health and wellness consultant and educator, and I help people with their wellness issues. It's amazing to me how many people have blind spots with regard to what sort of things are good for them in those areas. And I appreciate all of the folks that mentioned earlier about helping veterans that are making transitions. It's an amazing process and a very challenging one for those that are going through PTSD, for example, as well as those that are wounded veterans and things like that. And sometimes the wounds are not as visible. Sometimes it presents itself as certain mental illness challenges. And Emily articulated that very nicely earlier as well with regard to some of the things that people are going through and that are not visible challenges, but are still extremely important and extremely challenging for those people that are in that particular situation. Now, part of what I do, both in from the individuals to small groups and small companies to large companies, is bring their awareness level up and to help them establish a foundation. How do you build a good house? You have to start with the foundation, not the window dressing. And so I bring together the two, what I consider two of the major components of fitness and nutrition. On the fitness side, I have the simple three-legged stool model of flexibility, strength, and endurance. And on the nutrition side, everything on my website is all natural, organic, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. And because it's rated as a food, which is a higher designation than supplements, there's no problem with age, pregnancy, or interaction with any medications. So I can talk forever, but I'll cut it off right there and open up to questions or discussion or however else I can be of assistance or help to anybody that has any questions about what I do or et cetera. I know that Marianne, one of my favorite characters that she has developed is Noah the Heart of Healing Whale. And I think all of the interfaces that she does, mahalo plenty, by the way, with regard to the educational things that she's involved with, I think are really special and really admirable. So to all of you that all bring your talents to bear in all of these different areas, like I said, my hat's off to all of you.
So I'm so glad you're here with us, Don. And I'm actually curious, when I think about people that don't have even the clean drinking water, where do they start? How do they, what advice would you give them as far as where to go with health related issues? Because I actually am trying to wrap my head around what else they would be dealing with. And I'm honestly a bit ignorant to know how to proceed when you look at that. I'm just thinking with the expertise you have, I can imagine there's a lot of thoughts you may have with that.
Well, there's cleanliness is an important factor in order to stave off illness, maladies, disease, etc. Even when there are accidents and cuts, you need to have clean water in order to clean the wounds. So all of these things are very important, and to have simple basic things like being able to trim fingernails, toenails, things like that in order to keep as clean and healthy an environment as possible in the lack of other things that we also take for granted with regard to the various talents that are brought to bear by the medical community in order to work on as much prevention as possible. Those are areas that I would, because you have, it's very eye-opening I guess I would say, to see people to have to, do their laundry in the river, for example, and stuff like that. And to have access to light, refrigeration, clean water, those things that we take for granted. I think it's very admirable to emphasize what you're now able to take another step forward with regard to what your wellness area would be. So those are very, very simple, very, very basic things that we take for granted, but they're all very important to have the ability to ingest clean water, to have the ability to have some form of electricity, to have access to better personal hygiene that will affect the entire group, especially young people. Think of what it would mean to have a much cleaner environment for infants, babies, etc., on up through the entire life cycle. So those are the things that I would encourage people to continue to learn and improve and take advantage of as they are able to grow with each step that they take forward in being able to get a little bit more of another advantage going forward with the healthy things that become available to them with the introduction of these different things that help them with their challenges.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Don. Actually, Kurt, I saw you had your hand up. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on into the conversation here. So, Kurt, welcome.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It is exciting to have this crew right here on the World of Ability podcast, vodcast show, live streaming for disability advocacy, and to show all of these resourceful people that come out of the woodwork when Sue, Emily, and I and others and our teams do all this work. It's a great honor to be partnered with Acts of Kindness and Let's Be Trees, and to have all of the guidance and advisory of Don Crumlin here, and Sherry here right in our Zoom session. Her mind was racing while Don was talking, and she typed right in the chat, Don Crumlin, I would like to know more. I've been studying holistic health, salt, and parasites for many years. So to me, that opens up a can of worms. What do you got, Don? How do you respond to that? Holistic health, salt, and parasites.
Well, I am a strong proponent of holistic health and everything being natural, and also in terms of prevention versus correction. Prevention is normally much more effective and a lot less expensive than correction. So that is one of the things that I try to lean on as well. With regard to parasites, the cleanliness issue that I already talked about earlier, that will help a great deal with regard to parasites. Salt is, I'm not sure what exactly her question specifically is with regard to salt, but there are different types of salt. There's the sodium-based salt, there's the potassium-based salt that's in things like bananas and avocados that are extremely healthy salts. But I'm not sure exactly how to address that question in its general form right there. Pivoting back to holistic health, everything that I try to educate people toward is with regard to everything being natural, everything being as Mother Nature intended as much as possible, as well as to do healthful things that will give you that strong foundation to be able to resist certain maladies and other external forces on you that can put you in a compromised or a deficient situation. And because of that, we want to make sure that we're helping to develop strong bodies and minds, which will also tie in with their improved spirit. So body, mind, spirit is another foundational principle that I also try to emphasize to people. And in building their spirit by helping them feel healthier and in a state of better wellness from where they were to where they are and where they'd like to go, you immediately open up opportunities for them to have better self-confidence in thinking about the different things that they can achieve going forward. So that improves their spirit. And you can then spread that energy to groups and you'll have the power of synergy, where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And now you really have things moving in a dynamic direction that are going to have that's going to have a positive influence on everyone concerned. So thank you for that question. I hope I was able to address at least part of what you may have been asking about. Hi,
There we
Sherry.
go. So Sherry, we'll come back to you in a minute, but I just kind of want to put a lot of context to this, because we have the Clean Water Foundation. We have acts of kindness. Marianne is all the time about go out and play. We're talking about Hawaii and Mexico, and where we have access to our saltwater oceans and stuff like that. So everything is kind of bundling together. But yeah, Sherry, go ahead. Tell us more. I want to really zero in on this salt aspect. I think it's an exciting opportunity to really look at the element of salt and kind of what you have been digging up on salt, Sherry, and kind of what you're hoping to connect with Don here. Let's really get this to its end.
This is deep. I studied salt in the Bible and what we're supposed to be as salty as the ocean, 4% salt. And Jesus said, unless you resalt, you disintegrate like dirt, dust under the foot of man. And then in the Old Testament, I think it was Moses threw the salt in the well and said, no longer will children die and men get sick from this water. And then in the Old Testament, it says, with every grain, take the salt. With every meat, take the salt. Do not sit down to eat without the salt of your God's covenant. And I started thinking, why would there be a salt covenant? Well, salt kills fungus, parasites, and bacteria. So the whole premise of salt being bad for us and that we shouldn't to have the salt is salt raises your blood pressure momentarily so that you can kill any bacteria or fungus while it's in the gut, and then you can get back to work. It's not like hereditary high blood pressure, which actually comes from a virus from what I'm reading. But salt kills the fungus, the parasite. And unless we deworm ourselves, or if we had a perfect diet and a perfect environment, and like ivermectin in the soil is made from avermectins in the soil. So it's a little microorganism that eats anything acidic. And that's why ivermectin is being promoted as a multifaceted wonder drug right now. It's curing all sorts of things. And one of the things that I would love to share, if anybody cares, I'm very passionate about deworming, because I found this year on the NIH's website that it is recommended that every human being from the age of 2 to death, twice a year, have a parasite cleanse. I am adamant that we are being eaten. Everything that happens to our health outside of the womb, and many things from the womb, because we can get fungus and bacteria and even parasites from our mother. So when people say to me, oh, I got it, it can't be fixed. I go on to DuckDuckGo, not Google, and I type in whatever their ailment is plus the word parasite, and every single time it goes back to a parasite on the NIH's website. 2 days ago, a man said, I'm in AFib right now. I'd never looked up AFib, but I typed in AFib parasite. Boom. It's a fungus that attacks the heart.
Wow.
I had yeah. Everything that somebody says that they've got wrong with them, go into DuckDuckGo and do that. And you'll see we are full of parasites being eaten from the inside out, every one of us. Bacteria, lymphoma and breast cancer is a bacteria. Bacteria can be killed with doxycycline, fish antibiotics. Okay? You don't have to even have a doctor. The COPD and all this lung infection, it's a fungus in the lung. 9 times out of 10, it's a fungus in the lung, which is killed by ivermectin. So Everybody's bastardizing ivermectin. Oh, don't eat that. It's horse pill. I eat it all the time. All the time. And I know lots of people who do. And none of us are dead. So I've got a lot to say on holistic health and what I feel like we've been lied to. You know, why is this hillbilly bringing the news to y'all? You know,
All right, here we go. So we got hillbillies. I like to have fun that on my side of things, one side of my relation, I call hillbillies, so I relate to Sherry, and then I have the Roscoff side. I say I wonder if any Roscoffs are listening out there, my redneck relation out there. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun. I like that reference to DuckDuckGo. I'm not a user of DuckDuckGo, but we'll have to see what y'all got going on over there. So, but Don, DuckDuckGo, Sherry just said a mouthful. What do you think of everything she was unpacking there? She threw a lot at us. Right? Yeah, figure out where you start.
I have a lot of commentary. Let me start with as you and Sue know, I am a musician as well, and I play for the band that supports the choir at my church. So I am not going to say anything that is contrary to what Sherry has learned from the Bible. However, I will say that things in our environment, unfortunately, have changed quite a bit. And we now have been subjected to a number of negative influences that have complicated things with regard to pollutants in the air, with regard to electronic radiation that's in the air that permeates through all of us, that has affected things in a negative way. And I realize that there are people that feel comfortable in simplifying things to the very basics, but not everything in our world is quite that simple. I certainly wish it was. But to give a little bit more of my background, I have 3 master's degrees. I was the senior quality advisor for the Medi-Cal account for all of California for 16 years, working shoulder to shoulder and elbow to elbow with top doctors and nurses for pretty much every malady under the sun. And I helped develop the fitness program, mostly for the Air Force, but I embedded myself with all 4 branches of the service before I came up with my final program for fitness that was adopted primarily by the Air Force, but was also adapted to the other 3 branches of the service. You might think, well, what about the Coast Guard? The Coast Guard comes under the Transportation Department, even though some people don't know that. But anyway, I like keeping things simple. I like keeping things natural. I like keeping things holistic as much as possible. But so many things have put negative influences in our world that have complicated things to a certain extent. And what used to, for example, way back when, penicillin used to be the bacterial wonder drug, antibacterial wonder drug for everything that afflicted us that was bacterial in nature. And then we had a lot of chemicals introduced to our environment. And then there was tetracycline. And now there are erythrocyansin and every other cyansin under the sun that has to now be specific to each bacterial affliction in order to get a positive result in terms of a cure for the maladies that afflict us in certain ways. And backing up once again, I would like for things to be preventive in nature versus corrective. But it would take a long time to address all of the different concerns, and I applaud everybody that's doing everything in a positive direction that is helping people get well and get to a better place than wherever they started out or wherever they are, and especially those that emphasize prevention. So I'll stop there and and let the rest of the discussion flow.
All right. So Leon, I want to bring you in, the Clean Water Foundation. I know like here at my house, we have a, a water softener, and, you throw salt in that water softener. And so I just wondered, Leon, where does the the aspect of salt come into, like, because you're working with filtration and water quality, and then you're trying to help people be healthy from the water side of things. What are your thoughts about this discussion, Leon?
I think it's a great discussion, and especially when he was talking about preventive, because if you can't wash your hands, that's why the reservation caught COVID more than anyone else, because they had no hand washing facilities. And we actually had to invent some hand washing machines where they could wash their hands when the COVID broke out for the Hopi and Navajo reservation. So we had to develop these certain machines that they made called hand washing stations because of the fact, like he had mentioned, about that's really important, especially kids, because their immune system is not as good as, if you're an adult. If you're a 2-year-old child or a 6-month-old child and you don't have that cleanliness, that can kill you. So I think what he's saying is right on. It couldn't be any better said. And with the salt, I know we're working with treatment plants now to actually do treatment plants where you could take the salt out of the water and use it for fresh drinking water, the desalination. So we're now working with these manufacturers that's gonna have these type of treatment plants, so you can go into certain areas and purify the water that way. Normally we were just working with rivers, lakes, and ponds. And it was like he said, you got people washing up in the water, the animals is in the water. So you're going to get all these waterborne illnesses. That's why you got 2.2 million people dying every year for lack of clean water. The water's there, but it's not clean. You got 50% of the world's hospital beds filled with people with waterborne illnesses. So imagine if it was clean water and people had access to it. You didn't just freed up 50% of the world's hospital beds that people that have waterborne illnesses will no longer have. You would be stopping that 2.2 million people dying every year because of lack of clean water. So, it's a serious deal, the cleanliness, and just like he's saying, the preventive, if you can do that. It's just like every time we go anywhere in the world and put a water system up, we do what we call inauguration celebration of clean water, to say you got clean water. We also have what we say is hand washing competitions. So we're bringing that to the table. When we go into these villages, say in Africa or South America, and then inventing now these washing stations. So I think he's right on what he's saying.
Yeah, and I just want to share with you too, Leon, being a sailor and living on a sailboat. I had a great opportunity in Hawaii, and I got to sign for a beautiful deaf man who became a veterinary assistant in San Diego. But getting a cut on your leg and going swimming, many sailors were in the ICU. I was one of them because I got staph. I didn't know it. I had volunteered at the deaf surf Duke Surf Contest in August, and I had volunteered to interpret sign language for the deaf surfers. And I went and laid down to rest my arms, and either I got bit by a spider on the back of my neck, or the spider or something else, scorpion, one of those things, centipedes. Anyway, I couldn't see it, so I didn't know how it had transpired, but my friend saw it. And so I went and had it lanced and got some antibiotics. And a couple of days later, I was at the Unity Church of Hawaii, and all of a sudden my watch popped off my arm, And I said, I gotta go. I gotta go to the emergency room. I said, I don't think I'm leaving. And they're like, oh, just go pick something over the counter. I go, no, I think it's more than this. And I checked into the hospital and they said, you're not leaving. I said, I didn't think so. And I ended up 10 days getting MRSA in isolation. And, so the water. So I know other friends too, working on their boats, having a small little minor cut, getting into salt water, getting in these waters, and then being infected and ending up in the hospital and ICU. So I'm just sharing that story as well. Being a volunteer, and look what happened, but I made it through it. I'm here to share the stories with you. And again, so glad that we all have these different parts to share with us about clean water. And I have a friend here, Juanita here from Canada. She joined us last week for the first time, was so happy. She's got a double master's in early education. And she's just loving our podcast since last week. So I want to just introduce Anita here for a little bit, find out what she's done with her career.
You bet. What's not to love? So.
Hi there, everybody. So, I'm really very much in transition right now. First of all, I'm board stiff, being so-called retired. And I've created a number of projects in community and so on and so forth, done a lot of volunteering. And one of my latest interests was around providing people with information about native pollinators and how they can encourage that happening in their own backyard, so that their produce, the fruit they're growing, the vegetables they're growing, everything they've got out there is strong and healthy and productive. However, as I say, I am in transition. I'm down here in Mexico and giving very serious thought to becoming a resident over time, and also wanting to really kind of take, a good look in the community and see where, in terms of my experience, my training. It's actually a double master's in adult education, but that's okay because I worked with individuals, male and female, from the age of 3 years to 78 years. Spent a fair amount of time, probably 7 or 8 years, owning and supplying services in Calgary for people with developmental disabilities. And it was in that environment, with the emphasis on developmental disabilities, that we decided as a group, including our participants, people who were, taking education and skill training from the programs, that we wanted to change that focus to one of focusing on differently abled. And we found that was almost magical in its results. Because instead of focusing on, well, you can't do this and can't do that, and maybe this could work and maybe that could work, we were actually daily discovering areas of expertise, knowledge, ability on the part of those folk. And that inspired me as an individual in a huge way. So where I'm at right now is, I can look at my abilities, my life experience, hopefully bring that along with me in terms of what I get engaged with and working on. But I do know that retirement's not for me, that's for sure. I'm too interested and too curious to sit home and knit, although I do knit. But I am looking around Mexico, been living long-term in 2 different communities, and see that there is a huge impetus of, first of all, becoming involved in, the surrounding area, but really looking at where the needs are. What are people interested in? What are their challenges? What do they need and want? And so, as you say, that's the transition that I'm undergoing right now. I was 80 in January. People tell me I don't look 80. I sure don't feel 80. And I feel like I've got a lot of energy and a lot of life experience, and always been incredibly curious. So I'm looking forward, as I say, to, with the input of other people, being observant, knowing what my skill areas are and where I want to continue to learn and even explore. Looking forward to a whole new lifestyle. So I'm delighted to join this group. I'm so glad that I was introduced to the group. And I'm imagining that that will change as time goes. People come and go, and just really looking forward to learning more, hearing all of the exciting things that you're doing. And that just energizes me to work harder at deciding how I'm going to get involved and what I'm going to do. So I want to really, really thank you on that level. I'm excited, I'm energized, and very much wanting to continue to be a lifelong learner. So I'm glad to be here.
Excellent.
Okay.
We are thrilled that you are here. Thank you so much for joining us. And we do have another friend that is hopping in as well. So I do want to go ahead and bring her in right away. Lee is a good friend that we do quite a few different projects with. I want to go ahead and have her join this conversation right away. Lee, welcome to World of Ability. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and where you are, because, you know, my background makes me think about you. So go ahead.
Well, let me say it this way. Aloha, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hala'o Saturday. I don't know what the Hawaiian word for Saturday is, but I hope that gives you a hint as to where I am. And oh my
Aloha,
God, I
plenty
see two
superstar.
words. Oh my God, Don Crumlin, you need to come on the camera.
I just came off. I'm giving you the spotlight now, ma'am.
Oh, you're so kind. Well, what do? I do a lot of plethora of things. The newest thing under my belt is, hey, women, need a foundation that doesn't make you look like you're a ghost? Hey, even guys can use foundation. Mr. Roscoff, you should use foundation so when you go skiing, no sunburn. Yes, I actually enjoy doing No Card because it's my 2024 telephone directory. And I can search for people by their category. And, you know, sometimes I usually forget. So Kurt might need to remind me. And oh my God, I'm seeing two of him. Oh, two
He's in
Kurts.
stereo.
I know, my gosh. Anyway, you know, he's got one side because, you know, he wants us to see his side view and not the front view. Profile, maybe. I don't know what's going on with that one, but hey, we love you either way, Kurt. So no card, we can search by category, and that's a cool thing because when we're out networking, we don't always remember the person unless we've had numerous encounters with them. Then we go to another platform and we network with somebody, and then they're talking about something and we're like, oh yeah, what was that person's name again? Imagine if I could put in a category, and I caution you because you can choose your own category, but choose a category that people will look for you for. I don't know about Food Grinch, Mr. Crumlin, Mr. Don. I don't think that's going to pop up, but you know, we can always try. But put those things in, because No Card is a platform that is no chaos, no politics. And I think there's one more, but I can't remember what it is. And it's usually the one that Kurt needs to remind me of.
No
No,
kids, no chaos, no
Yes.
politics.
Cool. See, that's why he's my right wing man. And then I got Mr. Crumlin on my left wing. And oh my God, my wings are getting heavy. But you know, without them, I'd probably have a hard time, as I just did. So with that said, I highly encourage you to start, at least put a picture with your posting, put a picture to your profile so we see who you are. Because, you know, we don't want to deal with just the face. We want to, you know, the icon that they give us, we want to deal with the person. See what the person looks like. Because, you know, and I don't remember who said it, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. And do we have any coaches out there? Anybody, online creator, content people that are trying to teach people? How would you like to be paid as an affiliate for having somebody else go take another course in your same platform? Isn't that awesome that we can get paid from another company instead of like the other platforms. The other platforms, the only way you get paid is you got to go take that coach's or that person's course. So super awesome. That's me in a nutshell. Let's connect. I am Lee Kataoka, all the way from Oahu, Hawaii. Back to you, Miss Sue. Thanks a lot for giving me the stage.
Excellent. So glad you're here, Lee. And I do want to come on back around with Sherry. We had said early on we were going to dive in a little bit more in what her project is and to be able to share her website on our screen. Emily, do you have her website up and ready to go that we can bring that on and she can tell us a little bit more about her organization?
Yeah, can do that one.
Okay. Sherry, you want to dive in just a little bit more on what Let's Be Trees is all about?
Are reforming the funeral industry by taking it from profit to nonprofit. We are forming cemetery societies, nonprofit societies, and crowdfunding for 200, 300, 400, 500 acre amazing estates that we can use as a natural cemetery and a small event center. And we want to do it in every state and then double back and do 2 in every state. And wherever we can find a beautiful 200, 300, 400 acre estate, I'm in. We'll form a board of directors and $100 membership fee, and you find 300,000 people and you're done. Somebody said to me the other day, they said, you just need money. And I'm like, no, because $100 isn't that much money, right? Most everybody can pay $100 for their funeral plan, and we can make payments if people needed to. So what I'm hoping to do is go into a state and offer that community a cemetery society. I don't even know how I'm getting paid. I just want to make funerals basically free. And that's my mission here on earth. I think it was why I was born, to change the funeral industry. And it just makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. There's no one can put a hole in this plan. Now, I've talked to some of the smartest, most cynical people. My father can't find a hole in it. So there. We're gonna reform the funeral industry before I leave here.
So with the website up, is there any piece on that where you want to direct people to take a look at?
So you can I don't know.
I know you did say you have resources on there as well. I want to maybe we could take a look at that because you do have some free resources available for people to utilize there.
Absolutely. The resource page, the main thing that people hit there is the free will. So we have a will that you can download for your state and fill it out. And no longer are you sitting there with your stuff going to probate and your family wondering what's up. But we're hoping that people will really just take a subject that they haven't wanted to deal with because of, it was too expensive, or they didn't want to talk about it. They were scared of it, whatever. But look it in the eye. Put up your $100. Now you know that you know where you're going to be buried. You know you're not going to get embalmed. You know that you're going to have to buy or build a casket or wrap yourself in a beautiful flag. I don't care. You can be in your birthday suit, just as long as it's biodegradable and so you just make your plans, and it's so simple. We're going back to the way that our grandparents used to do this, and it was really a lot simpler.
Excellent.
Yeah, one thing that we are doing is we're taking some extra efforts on the corporate sponsorship side. Emily, can you show the corporate sponsorship, the ambassador and corporate sponsorship? So we
This
hear
is
the world-
this is that page right now.
This is that page? Okay.
Yes.
So this is the part that we're really plugging into from here at the World of Ability Podcast Network. And so we're looking to engage all of our friends here, you know, in the panel today, and you know, really trying to grow out and get all this networking. Sherry is dynamic out on Alignable. So if you've not been Alignable yet, get into Alignables and you might end up in a breakout room being able to talk to Sherry directly right there on Alignable. I know, Lee, you has it been a while since you've been on Alignable, Lee, or have you been doing more lately?
Not as much as I'd like to, because most, you know, I mean, I'm in Hawaii, so I'm like, what, 6 hours away from the East Coast, and they're starting like at 4 or 5 o'clock a.m. my time, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
I need to get more active there, because there is a lot of business, or not business, but contacts we can make there. So that's one of my plans, to get 1 to 2 events under my belt there every week.
All right, very good.
I have,
Marianne,
I have a,
Marianne,
Yeah.
have you done Alignable?
I'm in Mexico, but I have in the past. So I have a quick question about this, Sherry's organization.
Yeah, what you got?
Well, I was a sign language interpreter at the Unity Church of Hawaii. And one of my neighbors made his transition, J.R. Coleman, who is a poet. And what he decided to do, he wanted to be a living tree. So with the cremation process, they created a bulb, and they planted this bulb with his cremations in it with a plant outside the Unity Church of Hawaii foyer. So when people would walk by, that's where he is. And we could send light to him and aloha, JR. So I'm curious about what's your thoughts on these living trees that are a new trend for people and preserving our earth. So that's my question.
So our kind of catchphrase, or I don't know, but it's Hosanna High Community Burial Project. Let's be trees. So I'm totally on board with the whole becoming a tree, or whatever you want to, you want to be a rose bush, that's on you, or a lilac hydrangea. But I think that if with a thoughtful planning, we could have 300 acres of just amazing living gardens. And I can't wait to see this come to fruition. Yeah.
And so with that part of the show, Sue, I'm wondering if we want to go ahead and keep the show and tell going and get back. I know we've done it a lot in the past, but let's do another show and tell of acts of kindness and get some visuals going. And I know we'll leave some of our audio sharing for the end of the show, coming from, Marianne's work and everything. So, but can we do that? And then we'll maybe make a run through of No Card and the Great Discovery, and that should probably give us our last segments for today.
Well, and I should double check too, if there's a website Don would like shared as well, if you want to put that in the chat for us. But yeah, Emily, if you could kindly do the screen share there. Thank you. So Marianne, are you available there if you want to come on in and tell us a little bit more what we're looking at here? This is the Acts of Kindness series website.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, this is a website designed by Hostinger. I was introduced to it by Trevor Gibbs, another HNP who evaluates websites to make sure you are ADA compliant. If you're not ADA compliant, you can receive up to a $75,000 fine. So for a 4-year program, I'm paying $130. Wow. And look at, and we created this ourselves. Now I know I did an AI generation, and it blew me away how it brought deaf children in it, different things. But my writer Suzanne and I took the time to create this. The vision, the mission, the singer, Lucy and the Perfect Wave. There's Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab that I referred to earlier. He has now on YouTube, thanks to Trevor Gibbs. So you can go visit YouTube, the Acts of Kindness series, Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab, and learn the finger spelling ASL alphabet. These are the products and services, how to get the books. Teachers in the United States of America can request copies of the books from donorschoose.org. That's donorschoose.org. I had a special education teacher in Hawaii request 50 books of underwater acts of kindness for ocean cleanup. She got funded in 2 weeks, and the class read the books, and I went out and visited them with the puppets and did a slideshow teaching the finger spelling alphabet and talking about looking on the ground, find 10 pieces of plastic and pick it up and put it in the garbage. If you're at the bus stop, McDonald's, on the beach, everybody does their part. It's not that hard to do. So look around, and that's a photo of me with Eve, the finger spelling bumblebee. I'm signing the sign language more, which is a common sign that babies use for baby sign language, meaning I want more food, I want more milk. And children who learn sign language tend to cry less. They have a higher IQ because they're able to communicate, which is their basic needs. I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, change my diapers, mommy and daddy. And then it leads on to pointing, and they can go into the colors. So through the pandemic, I received some funding. They've created coloring books, 10 Apple app games for online courses for each of the books so far. I'm still finding funding, and really excited to write the climate change book right there, Cool Acts of Kindness, featuring Waterflow the Whale. That's merchandise of the general of the New Earth Army that I referred to. And Don, you know, we have millions of moms and dads coming home from being of service who can't hear their own children or grandchildren. And the general of the New Earth Army recruits Noah, the hard of hearing whale, to tackle the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's a beautiful story. And there's some photos of us go out and playing in Hawaii. And that's me signing for my deaf friend, Scott Buchanan, for over a decade. What a pleasure. He taught autistic children, worked for an audiologist part-time, and was a Reiki master. I became a Reiki master with him. And he chose to leave Honolulu to go to San Diego, and he got his veterinary certification, veterinary assistance license, by the way. And he's doing amazing work there. And what a journey. So again, we have the vision to bring these books into animation movies. No one has done that before with sign language characters. And we have 200 Folk Manus puppets. And we have 3 albums, soundtrack by Lucy and the Perfect Wave. And we've created a couple of the soundtracks. So if you could play at the end too, so I know you do, Love is the Only Way by Lucy Lynch. You can hear our angelic voice. That's us as a team, Suzanne, the writer on the left, Lucy, myself, and Scott. This is our team. And we got Auntie Renee there with Leon when I was living there. Leon went back to Hawaii in March, met with Lucy and her husband to do some work. And on World Water Day, and met Auntie Renee. And the Folk Manus Company was kind enough to send the complimentary Waterflow the Whale puppets for us to do photo shoots with. And so go out and play. I got to do a sailing book signing journey. What a life. Southwest Florida to Virginia, Hawaiian Islands, and I got to sail San Carlos, Mexico to Mazatlan just last month. And hope to sail at the end of the month for the regatta. And then we are the World of Ability podcast. Again, anybody listening can sign up and join us. We're always recruiting new people. We're always looking for new stories, teachers, leaders, educators, children to be part of the show. So again, thank you, Trevor Gibbs, a Charity Revolution, the web detective online can evaluate your websites to make sure they're ADA compliant. So go out and play. I'm Marianne of Waikiki.
There you go. That is a wonderful, vibrant resource, and what a way to live. Thanks for bringing it to us, Marianne. And I think we're going to have Emily continue her Vanna White role here and get us over to Creative Crumlin Associates. Let's take a perusal of that. I don't know if Don's available to narrate it all, but we'll go through it. We can always come back to it too, but let's take the segue over to, look at that, searching for recruits to join Commander Crumlin. All right. Put your health first and begin a journey to healthier, happier you. So Don, are you available or no? Let's see if Don's available. Like I said, we can always.
Yes, I am here. They changed this a little bit on the website. There used to be tabs that you could access to go to the different areas. I think if you click on from the homepage, learning more, there should be something like that. Learn more, yeah. Click on learn more, and that should open up the tabs. But yes, sort of, for example, the About Us tab that has a little bit of a bio about me. You scroll down there, there's a video of me explaining things. That video that you see in the upper right, you see that in the military, I've done a couple of things. If you scroll down, back when I had some hair as a young major, that was one of 2 congressional awards. I've done a few things in martial arts. I trained with both the Korean and the USA Taekwondo Olympic teams. And so I've done a few things.
Yeah, your background always amazes me. The variety of things that you've had as experience in your life, and that's where I always know how much value you have for all of us around you, because you're just a wealth of experience. And I'm always, when I get to see some of this again, it's like, oh yeah, and you did that too. It's amazing what you've all experienced here.
And
Yeah,
How Do You Feel video, that's kind of a cute cartoon that talks about the negative effects that are in our environment and how the all-natural nutritional products can help you come out of that malaise without using things like energy drinks in order to have a concentrated nutrition that will bring you to, the fancy word is homeostasis. And all that means is that it helps your body optimize all of its physiological functions so you feel like a teenager again.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I'll take that one. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that with what Emily is showing us, you can find that at creativecrumlinassociates.com. So that's what we're hoping everybody can bookmark that and have that ready reference to go back and learn more about our own health and what we can do to help spread health and wealth to others and have products available to help us do it. So fantastic stuff. Let's go ahead and let's do a quick note card breeze through, a quick note card run through, and then we'll do a little, flash showing of the great discovery. I'm trying to use some puns here today when I say flash, because it is Naked Gardening Day today, I learned. So, there's all sorts of stuff you can learn.
Celebrate wisely.
We're all leaving.
Right.
I'm leaving right now. TMI.
Hey, I didn't come up with it. I just report the news, folks. All right, Emily, do you have your note card web app up ready to show the world, or should I take it over, Emily? What do you got?
No, one second.
1 second. All right. So again, note card comes to us from our creator, Rob Pickering, and I met him in one-to-one speed networking, like Alignable. It wasn't Alignable first where we met, but he is strong on Alignable. And so that's another person you can meet. If you keep going to Alignable, you might meet Rob Pickering, the creator of this platform here, No Card. And this group here has helped Edwin Edeberry, our Chief Happiness Officer from the Happy Neighborhood Project, and doing all of our negotiating on behalf of the Happy Co-op. And so this is all available in our Happy Store now with happyneighborhoodproject.com and hmpabc.com. You can go in there and enroll for free in the co-op, and you can get access to this note card. And Emily, you also have your note card offer at nocard.app/ what's your handle, Emily?
My,
You don't know? Should I just say
no,
ability now?
no, it's a nocard.app/EGOLLIMEER.
Yeah, so that's a little counterintuitive. They made a typo when they made her username, so it's got an L or an I slipped in there. So nocard.app nocard.app/EGOLLIMER. And Emily's working on correcting that. So at some point it might change back to the correct spelling of her last name. So, but we're seeing a post here from Alan Holmes, Connect Vacations. That's another, cooperative thing that we're doing, with Alan and Treasure Island is they've got a whole enterprise under the Connect branding. And so we have travel available through Connect Vacations. And we have presentations on all these opportunities with Treasure Island. That is Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. 8 p.m. Central. You can go on to treasureislandpresentation.com and join the crew and learn all the ins and outs behind what Alan Holmes is posting. He's doing us a big favor because we're going to all be a part of a television show that goes into production next month. So how exciting is that? We're trying to catch up Sherry and Marianne. If you're not up to speed on all of this, it could be something that really helps get acts of kindness out there far and wide. And look at that Santa Papa John VIP Zoom guest panel on Monday. It's going to be Mondays at 5 p.m. Central. And I heard him talking about live streaming, Emily, at HMP weekend. So apparently part of the agenda is to offer to the crew that joins that we can go live streaming. So be ready for that, podcast engineer, Emily Gomer. But take a look at that. And that's going to be the same link we're using here, live streaming you right now. And that is with Zoom ID 404-058-6152. Everybody can join us for that.
Oh, okay. I can't see everybody, but I think Kurt might have.
All right, so here we go. You're seeing on the note card on the left is a dashboard. You're seeing a section where we set up our profile, all the details available there. Right now, Emily was showing you before these note card social pages, and there's a media section where you can load onto your note card for sharing to contacts, your videos, your photos, pictures, graphics, your PDF files. A ton of media can go into that note card media section. You have external links, so you can put 6 links in there to kind of help people get a little bit more of a broad-based view on what you all have to offer and how you're doing it. And then there's the preferred partners. So we're working with Sherry here to hopefully get Let's Be Trees someday on there to be a preferred partner, but we got to get her on the platform first. We're working on that. And then there's a lot of other features in here to help people, on the business side of things. There's messaging. So it's a nice platform that we can all stay in touch together there. And then we've got reviews. How great is that we can say, Sherry Wallace just has like the next thing that's going to be the most amazing thing for humankind. Let's put a 5-star review for Sherry. And then there's all the how-to stuff. So there you go, right on the platform. It's self-serve. You can do the DIY, do it yourself, and learn how it all works there. All right, Emily, we'll call it good enough. That's a good quick look at note card. And let's pop over to Great Discovery. Lee, do you want to head this one up and kind of give a blitz flash review of the Great Discovery?
Or why not?
All right.
How blitzing can I be? Well, I'm not blitzing the reindeer, so I'm a little slow. Anyway, Just kidding, guys. Do you want me to share my screen and show you a little bit?
That'd be great.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, let me get there. I'm just gonna share my whole screen. Anyway, guys, cool thing about the Great Discovery is there are a lot of free courses. You don't necessarily have to be an affiliate. You can just go and join as a learner. If you want to make some money, then join the affiliate. And, this is my back office, so you'll see my back office. I have courses here. There's tons of courses you can take. You can take free courses. Of course, no commission on free, guys, because, it's free. There's no money there. We can take other courses because there is a plethora of stuff. So like, gee-hoo, my course is up there, and it only takes you 5 minutes to learn. Learning about the Great Discovery was an eye-opener for me because I enjoy learning. So I can just put it on there. I can just listen if I want to, or I can watch, a video. Let's see. Oh, we can share our links. I think each of us have a link to the Great Discovery. We encourage you to work with somebody that you will feel comfortable working with in case you get stuck. I am hosting an event next week, Saturday, and you'll need to convert this into possibly your time zone in your area, but it is 8 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Hawaii time, May 11th. I put it in the chat. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. And when you connect with me in LinkedIn, if you go to my events, you'll see this event come up. It's being hosted by myself and an awesome gentleman, Alex Hitt. And he has a great program. Are you struggling with TikTok? Do you want to learn how to monetize TikTok? Go take his course because it's free. Are you trying to start a podcast like Sue, Emily, and Kurt? Well, they got a free podcasting course. So yeah, I am like blown away with what I can find there. So one here is, do I have a hard time making hard decisions? Okay, I can get an easy way. How many of us are networking and we're having, not making our networking profitable? Because that's what we do. We're networking to become profitable. Oh, this is my favorite. I need to go and learn how to eliminate my procrastination and not stay up till like midnight last night. So I'm kind of bleary-eyed this morning. Because, hey, it is only, what time is it here? 9:30 my time, and your day's almost half done. Anyway, I hope I gave you enough about, the Great Discovery. Please, get in touch with either Sue, Kurt, myself, or Emily. I don't know, did Mary Ann, Leon, I know Don has a site too. So get in touch with any one of us because we'd be happy to help you. On a scale of 0 to 10 on happiness, I'm at a 10 on all of this stuff today. Yay! Mahalo plenty, guys.
All right. Thanks for being one of our Vannas today. All right. So here we go. So yeah, I have fun with Alex Hitt. Alex Hitt is doing a tremendous job, and I think I'm going to come back to him next week and say I've got a little slogan for him that I'm using. It goes like this. Hey, bud, you don't know beep unless you get with Alex Hitt. You can go to Alex.
Wow. Okay. Who unplugged
I
him?
hope this is being recorded so we can play it to him with you singing. That would be awesome because I think he'll forget by next week.
Oh my goodness.
It just does more and more to convince us that Sue is such a saint.
Right.
I know, isn't that right, Dawn?
New material. I love it.
There you go.
Oh, by the way, happy belated anniversary to Kurt and Sue.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
There you go. 28 years, still running. So there you go. So, but back to Alex Hitt. I want to make sure everybody gets his website, alexhitt.com.
Another star on Sue's halo.
So Alex Hitt's last name, Hitt has 2 T's, so ALEXHITT.com. And you can put a /team on there. That gets you to everything that this crew is doing with the great discovery and the tremendous calendar of all the opportunities to take a closer look yourself after this show is over. AlexHitt.com/team. So with that, I want to get back to Marianne and Juanita and whoever else is visiting over there possibly, but Marianne and Juanita, anything else to bring into this last 20 minutes of our show here? What do you got?
Well, Juanita went to go take care of some business. We're both experiencing computer problems here in Mexico that we really need to go see a computer repair person, or it's time to let go. So I'm learning to let go. Anyway, yeah, I'm here. I'm so glad that she could join us last week. She was really exciting. And I'm glad that she's here, and she lights up the world here. And through our journey this past week, my friend Darlene returned about a month ago. She recovered from hip surgery. She's the hairstylist from last week. I'm looking glamorous as always. And we had a great time, but we got down to taking care of business this week because, you know, we went down and applied for Lakeside Medical because we're in Mexico, which accepts United States insurance to make sure you're on it. They're a great company. They follow up with how to get in contact in case of emergency. They took care of Darlene. We took her to Wyman's Hospital when she fell upstairs and broke her hip. She had to relocate to Phoenix. 9-month recovery. She's back here already. That's amazing. So she used to play tennis, and just sharing some stories with you too. I asked her, I said, so what's your insurance company? She said, Humana. And I go, how much was your bill? She's like, over $100,000 for hip replacement surgery. And she only had to pay like $130 out of pocket for her follow-up rehab. And she was like living at the Hilton up there in Phoenix. The hospital was like a Hilton, she was telling me. It was just amazing. So anyway, it's just sharing the story. So I had a pool party on Sunday, kind of like more of the meetings of the minds with a few friends, and sharing the stories. And my friend is the captain on the sailboat. We're both from Hawaii, and talking about it makes people think. And then guess what? They call and like, hey, how do I get that? How do I get that lake insurance? Because what if I fall on my sailboat down here? And who's going to come get me? And I said, the EMTs from Riscati came. We were able to translate on Google, and the thrift store that's there, these retired nurses. I was just down there this morning. The people who donate to the thrift store goes to the EMT's salaries, and there's a clinic behind it. So if you can't pay, they won't not deny you. It's just out of pocket. Now in Mexico hospitals, you got to pay to get out of the hospital. It's like a jail. But to pay for your medical services is what I understand. So I'm grateful that I haven't been there, but I'm learning, and they're building a brand new hospital down here. It's a beautiful place. And so I'm just kind of sharing these stories too, to, check out your insurance plans, because I also found out from another friend at our Conversations That Matter pool party was, my United Healthcare U card. If I call in and report that I'm swimming in the pool or walking the beach, they'll give me $10 a month. How cool is that? And last month they asked if I was social, and I said, yeah, and they gave me another $15. So over the course of the year, that's $135. So back from your insurance company. So I encourage people to do that. I've known other people been guests here have talked about it, but I'm a true statement. And yeah, you can use it towards your phone bill, gas, So I'm just sharing this week of experience. We had a good time. There's like 4 of us now. We're like the Golden Girls. 2 from Canada, 2 from US, 2 are mothers, 2 are child free, but we're going to go out on a cruise next week for Mother's Day. We went shopping. We went to the pharmacy. We went and got the medical stuff set up. And exercising and having great lunches and conversations that matter. So I'm really happy that Juanita could join us. And it's going to be a great, fun spring, summer. And we're going to be looking forward to the regatta down here in San Carlos. We just had Captain Carlos and her sister stay with us. Captain Carlos is a retired vet hospital nurse. And she's got the sailboat. So now she's got crew. So Darlene and I are going to be crew. And I'm a sailor, but Darlene's going to be watching YouTube sailing lessons. So it's going to be exciting this month. So we're going to still go out and play. It's a whole different thing, kind of taking a little break from the laptop. Excited to work with Suzanne, but maybe this is what the universe is telling me to do. And yeah, it's going to be a great, fun, exciting month here in San Carlos. So go out and play. I'm Marianne of Waikiki. And again, all classroom teachers in the United States of America can receive copies of the Acts of Kindness series from an organization called DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. The teacher just takes 10 minutes to whether his or her student or teacher ID and goes online and goes, I need 50 books for my classroom for ocean cleanup, anti-bullying, climate change, coloring books, social emotional learning curriculum. And we're excited to bring these books into different venues and locations with Clean Water Foundation, Leanne McLaughlin and Joe Wright. So we're moving forward. And 2 weeks ago, we met with Alex Hitt, and we learned about the Great Discovery, how to translate the books into 100 languages. They gave us a demo of Leanne speaking in Spanish for the global giving. It was just unbelievable. And Joe and I talked about our next step is to get my books translated. And I joined a female entrepreneur group on Facebook. I usually don't join a lot of these things, but I did. And I met a woman that is from Hawaii who is using this AI GP chat and translating her books and making a profit on Amazon. So I'm going to be in a masterclass on Monday and Tuesday. So I'm not able to join you on some other things. And Juanita will be here listening in too. So we got some educational things that are happening to keep us moving forward in the next week. So thank you so much for letting me share, Kurt. And back to you. We appreciate you. I know you were a former EMT, but you know, one of the nurses donated a bunch of plastic dish sets, really nice yellow, gold, like 20 plates, 10 cups, bowls, dishes. And I happened to see it at the thrift store and I go, oh my God, that's what we were looking for, because we were looking for stuff for Juanita and just around the pool, because we're going to have sailors here. And I go, how much? And she goes, for you, 100 pesos, which is about $5, $6. So instead of buying them at the dollar store and holding off, we kind of manifested it. And I know it's going to the EMT salaries. And oh, by the way, Kurt, it was kind of funny. I know Santa Claus is not on here today, but I wore a little red short outfit because it's getting warm here with my Nautica red and white sailboat shoes down to the Riscati with my red glasses that I got at Riscati because I wanted to get this little container for the refrigerator, because now we're sharing everything over here or out in the pool area is what I'm saying. Anyway, I walk home with a white bag a half a mile down to my house and I look like Santa's elf. I'm in red and white with a white bag over my shoulder, carrying this big bag of dishes that we're going to still go out and play with. So it was kind of funny. So I was hoping that Santa Claus would be here so we could talk with Santa and share the stories too. And we are looking forward to meeting with him about bringing these books and coloring books to children worldwide, especially with Clean Water Foundation. So thank you so much for letting me share my story today. Aloha, adios, amigo, amigas, mahalo, Marianne of Mexico, Marianne of Waikiki. Why not me? So go out and play.
Yeah, all right. We do like to play here at the World of Ability. We
Mary Ann,
are
you have so many double entendres in your advertisement things there.
That's how we
got an
roll here,
all-female
Don.
crew, got an all-female crew, got all these, hey sailor. You got yeah, got a lot of stuff going on there. Love to
Yeah,
party. I
yeah, the
guess no
camaraderie
bar
here
too
and-
far. All that kind of fun stuff. Okay. I'm hearing you.
All right, so here we go. We got thoughts after thoughts after thoughts, 2 hours long here, open house, open mic, open source, everything's opening up, new ideas and pioneering. It is amazing what's evolving here at the World of Ability Podcast Network. We have World of Women, World of Nutrition, World of Pets. You know, it's a whole big world out there, and we've got the happiest place in the world for business people, Happy Neighborhood Project, with their Chief Happiness Officer, Edwin. And, you know, so much evolving here. We have our Ability MKE Now radio show on Wednesdays at 7:30 Central, hosted by the amazing Sue Roskoff right here at the World of Ability. And Sue is also going to be co-hosting with our very own diva, Denise Vargas. That is coming up at 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 Eastern. And
Today.
they're going to be bringing you the TDC Today show by the Disability Channel. And so that's going to be a great half hour or so of a great show there with them and everything that they have planned. And we have a special premiere showcasing by Ability Now. We're going to do a little Ability Now format with CC Pound Cake that we met through the Daily Huddle. And we got into that group through former mentor Mark Ham from the Happy Neighborhood Project. So it's just amazing how everything keeps stacking and layering, and the abundance just keeps coming into these huddles right here at the World of Ability podcast. And so I'm really amazed at how we're getting real complete in what we have to offer. We are becoming the encyclopedia of what people need and are looking for. That's an old thought, huh? What's an encyclopedia? But in any case, you know, I've heard in the past terms like womb to the tomb, you know, obviously birth to death, you know, the complete lifespan. And you know, with World of Women, we have Zita, who is our midwife, and Sherry here is what's the terminology? It's more because Zita's on the birth side, Sherry's on the death side. So you're like not a midwife, but like a midwife for
Yeah.
death or something. A death midwife, is that
The course I took was death midwife.
okay?
Mhm.
All right. So Sherry, we've been collaborating for several months, thanks to our friend Bill Scalziti,
Yeah.
Romance by Choice. And when Bill learned what Sherry is doing, he thought, ooh, Kurt Roskoff needs to know about Sherry, and he made it happen. And we have been rip-roaring along ever since. And but Sherry, you are finding out it's like peeling an onion here. It's like you get through that first layer and you feel like you're a long ways from the core of this thing, don't you, Sherry?
I still feel a long way from the end. Yeah, but I'm committed. You know, there's a lot of people who really don't want to see funerals reformed. I mean, a lot of people who maybe they've got investments or a friend in the business, but it's there's people. I had a girlfriend tell me this morning that you'll never do it, Sherry. You're wasting your time. You'll never reform the funeral industry. And it just gives me more resolve. I will sit here and do Zoom meetings until I'm blue. And I'm going to reform the funeral industry before I leave this earth.
There we
Excellent.
go. We'll have a Smurf reference coming in future shows because we're gonna stay with Sherry till she's blue. She'll be in our Smurf program. But oh my goodness, thinking of favorite characters. Here comes Santa Papa John. We were talking about you earlier. Were your ears ringing?
No, I
Yes,
was too
Santa, we were
busy.
just talking about you.
I hope it was all bad because I'll put you on the naughty list even further than you already are. Kurt, you know, your lovely wife is on the nice list, and so is Emily, but Kurt's got to pull up his bootstraps a little bit more to, you know, stay. He's getting close, but he keeps talking the smack talk and it keeps pushing them down. But hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? I've had a fantastic day already. I've did some videos to welcome more people to Are You Santa Approved, and I'm excited to see how this is going to develop and shake down, and we're having fun, and it's the tree roots are growing steadily and spreading.
Are you saying
I'm
Kurt's
on-
already on the coal in his stocking list?
Well, you know, the definition is he getting one chunk or two chunks, Don?
So how many chunks am I lucky enough
my
to get?
goodness.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. One chunk or two. Oh no. Oh,
But Don, if you didn't hear,
you better put some tape over Sue's mouth before he ends up with 3.
hey, Don, if you didn't hear, Kurt is amazing with all his connections, and he's allowed me to use his wonderful assistant, Miss Emily, to do my first podcast Zoom on Monday at 5. That would be Central Time. So I'm excited to see how their influence, my influence, and I think Miss Sue might even jump on there a little bit too on the excitement of building up the Santa, Are You Santa Approved family even more. So it's going to be really exciting.
I tease Kurt a lot, but he's a wonderful guy, and he's got a wonderful family, and Emily is obviously uber talented, and she's a great compliment and contributor to the whole process, and they make a great team. So
I can't.
I know that they take my jabs all in fun, because that's all it is.
Absolutely. And you are more than correct on that statement, Don. I will agree with you. Their networking ability and their big heart for all three of them is absolutely amazing. And I'm very proud to say I'm a friend. I don't know if he's saying I'm a friend back yet, but I'm a friend to Miss Sue and Miss Emily so far.
Excellent. And Sherry, did you have something? I know we can't. Go ahead.
I'm on your website now, Santa, and I'm wondering, for somebody like I'm in North Carolina, how would you promote a company in North Carolina like mine? Do you have an idea?
Yes, I can promote worldwide here so far, and I've got people in Texas already online, and it doesn't matter where you are. The power of networking, the power of YouTube, the power of, you know, LinkedIn, there's no boundaries anymore. So promoting is part of the deal, and just spreading your boundaries and sharing on different websites is how you promote.
Yeah, and something that Edwin Edinburgh, our Chief Happiness Officer of the Happy Neighborhood Project, talked about, you know, a few years ago in a strong way as we were growing rapidly with Happy Neighborhood Project, Happy Business Networking meetings, and, you know, being international, you know, the handful of countries at that time. And so the thought that he asked us all to, you know, move forward on is, you know, it gets me thinking about the Walt Disney World thing. It's a small world after all. And Edwin would talk about how, you know, you can know somebody out in Australia or Asia or India or, you know, Europe and whatever. And when you open up their contact base, lo and behold, we actually shouldn't be surprised that they actually know some people in North Carolina, because that's how the world is working today. So basically, that's what I invite for people with my LinkedIn and other contact bases. Tell me where you're from. And so like Sherry, we could do a campaign opening up my North Carolina contact roster and, you know, make sure that they know about what's happening right there in North Carolina. We had H&P, you know, North Carolina. So we've got that, and working with Santa Papa John, we can take his stuff that, you know, knows no bounds on location. We can add to it, you know, who do you know in North Carolina? We can do specific references that catches the attention of your population there in that great state, NC, North Carolina, the Tar Heel fans, and whatever else we got to do. That's how you do it. You do affinity and cause marketing that would get us directly with folks that how you'd identify it. So all of your any colloquialisms, any references, like here in Wisconsin, we got our cheesehead thing. So you put something out there where, hey, cheeseheads, now all of a sudden all those cheeseheads are like, what? And so we just got to use all of that culture from North Carolina to make that happen. And Sherry, you have a tremendous opportunity in August because the Roscoffs are going to really ramp up the awe in August because we're going to be going down to North Carolina. So whatever you want to do to shake the trees down there in North Carolina, the Roscoffs are here for you.
Where are you going?
Lake Lure. You're just about in South Carolina by the time you're at Lake Lure. So
I'm not from. I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah, South Central. Like really, I don't know. It doesn't seem like much of a drive to get to the South Carolina border from where we're going to be. So it's right down there and kind of midland of the state. Right.
Are you doing an event?
It's where towards Nashville?
It's near Asheville.
Oh, Asheville. That I was going to say Nashville. What does that have to do? Yeah, Asheville. Yeah, Asheville, North Carolina. Do you know better where that is, Jerry, or don't you know where Asheville?
That's on the west side, Kurt.
Well, Asheville is, but I thought Lake Lure is a little further east, isn't it?
It's a little east of Asheville.
Yeah.
So, but it is way on the west end of.
Yeah, you're still up in the
Carolina.
mountains in Asheville.
Oh, you're not. Oh, I'm thinking I'm further inland. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's actually quite a ways to the west. We haven't done all our planning yet. We know where we're going, but we haven't looked that closely.
Are you going to do a ski show?
I wish.
No, we're going to get with my relatives, my dolphin relatives at that. So that's actually a surname. My mother's maiden name was Dolphin. And so I grew up in a water ski show family. And my mother and my two aunts did when I was just a little tyke, and I kind of have vague, faint memories of when I was like 5 or 6 years old type of thing, of being right there on the shoreline as they're racing back and forth and they're out there on the water. My aunt's holding up a ski while skiing on the other ski that she started with. And my mom would do turnabouts.
Because he can't remember that far back.
Wait, say that again?
I say he's got to be looking at pictures because he can't remember that far back.
Wow. I was thinking Sue gets another star for dealing with this, I tell you.
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of Sue, we're going to have you put a bow on this thing, button it up, let's wrap up this present and let's move on to the future because we have eaten up all of our time. This show is about over under your direction here, Sue. Take it away.
Excellent. You guys are amazing. This has been such a wonderful conversation all throughout today's episode here with World of Ability. You guys are amazing. I am always in awe of what everybody brings to the table, to the conversation, to all of these different aspects. And I'm forever thankful for each of you. So we are here every Saturday at 1:00 Central and invite everyone to come on in and join us. Join the conversation. If you're watching this and wondering, how do I get in on what the cool people in the Zoom room here are all doing, please come on in and join us. Reach out. We would love to connect further. And if you would like to be connected directly with Marianne, with Sherry, with Don, with Santa Papa John, we are here and I would love to be able to make that connection happen. So please do reach out and we look forward to next week. We will be back here again Saturdays at 1:00 Central for World of Ability. So again, Yeah.
Did I miss something? I thought we established a format. We've been away from it for a while. Did we stop doing the song?
One last thing. No, actually.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
Exactly. So we do have Love is the Only Way by Lucy Lynch coming on up. So Emily, do you have that ready?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. She's drumming.
Hold on a second.
All right. So Sue, what's the significance of the song? Why do we play that here at the World of Ability?
So Lucy Lynch is a connection that came through Marianne, and it is her music is amazing. And I know if you go to Marianne's website and go there, you will find out more about Lucy Lynch. There's a lot of pieces that she has brought to what Marianne does. And I know with Leon as well, he was able to meet her recently when he was out in Hawaii, and there's a big history there, and you will understand more when you hear the song. So Emily, go ahead and take it away.
So this is going to be Love is the Only Way, right? Is that the correct title?
Yeah.
Love is the Only Way by Lucy Lynch. And Emily, what's the report here? We're at the edge of our seats here.
Well, it's still coming up. So hold on.
Coming up. Okay.
It's still coming up. All right. She's using all of her resources, folks. She's got us out there on Clubhouse and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and, LinkedIn Lives. We got the full resources of our bandwidth and our computer
Well,
capacity.
as that's coming up, I can remind you that later today we will be having TDC Today Show USA. That is going to be today at 6 p.m. Central. Come on back. We have Denise Vargas joining us. She is co-hosting with me tonight. And then tomorrow we have Blue Collar Crypto with Tim Terosian. He is on Sundays at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. Central. And I actually could do a quick run through of all the shows we have coming up this week. There's a lot coming. I'm excited to say, I know Santa Papa John has his first show on Sunday. I'm not Sunday, on Monday, 5 p.m.,
Monday.
correct? 5 p.m. Central. So come on back and join for that. At 6:30 p.m. Central, we have Project Die Hard Mission Monday update. On Tuesdays at 11 a.m., Aspie Bridge podcast. At 8 p.m., we have World of Pets podcast with Debbie Hayes. On Wednesdays at 10 a.m., Mastery of Connection with Alan Holmes. 7:30 p.m., I want to say World of Ability. That's now. Ability MKE Now is the live radio show we do on Wednesday evenings at 7:30. On Fridays with Sherry Wallace, we have at 3 p.m. Let's Be Trees, followed by In the Know with No Card. And then we're back to next Saturday already. We do have a couple of shows that are just once a month. On Tuesdays, once a month, the very first Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m., Zita's Healthy Beginnings. And then on the second Friday of the month at 6 p.m., we have World of Nutrition. So we have a lot going on. There's so many opportunities. If you want to know more about podcasting, more of what's available to you to get your word out about what you do and to be able to bring in wonderful guests like this, we are happy to help. Reach out if you have questions, and we would love to help make that happen for you. And with that, Emily, are we ready for the song?
We're experiencing back orders coming out of our engineering department here. All right, here we go.
No pressure.
All right.
And that's Lucy Lynch Bandcamp. That's her website.
Excellent. All right.
So this is a MP3, or this is a soundtrack to.
Love is the only way. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. Take a breath. Let it be alright. Take a breath. Let it be enough right now. Let this moment be what it is. Let this moment be your doorway to bliss. Seeking love, 'cause it's seeking you. Seeking light, 'cause light is you. Finding ways to let your heart beat. Finding ways to let your heart beat.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Waiting for those hamsters to get their second win.
Technology, you gotta love it.
There we go.
Love is the only way. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. And then make a move now. Let your spirit groove now. Let your heart be open. Let it be alright. And let your love shine bright. Let your spirit fly. Let the moonlight find its way into your heart. And know that love is the only way. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. And love is the only way. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. And let your spirit soar. Let your soul seek more. Let your heart be open wide and realize that this moment has always been enough. Love is the only way. Love is the only way. Love.
Not a good day for technology.
I guess not. Oh, but love is the only way.
Is the only way. Love 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 is the only way. I know.
Excellent. And as always, we thank you.